This reading is a piece of Sunday scripture. I thought I would start doing a new series of videos, basically doing a one card reading on a Sunday with a little bit of advice, motivation, healing to carry forward through the week, so that when we begin tomorrow with our Monday, which for a lot of people, myself included, is like the starting point. So every Monday it's like a fresh start, a fresh beginning, and I like to set new challenges every Monday, so that each week there's something new that I'm putting in there, something that's growing me or healing me or expanding me in some way, and so I thought I would offer that out to you as well. So we'll do each Sunday we'll do one card, and then you can make of that as you like. So I'm using the Archangel Animal cards by Diana Cooper, and we're going to ask the animals for a little wisdom here. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck. It's quite hot here today, so the cards are not forthcoming in the shuffle. Everything's a bit sticky. I think it's probably about 35 degrees outside and there's no wind, so it's very still and very humid. Okay, so I've shuffled the cards and cleared them. Now I'm just going to close my eyes and connect to the cards. I'm going to connect that, my energy, to you now. Okay, and then I'm going to put the question in. Okay, and let's see what card comes up. Okay, so the card that we've pulled out is the Raven card. So I'm going to hold it here. So you can see that close up. So what do ravens mean to you? When I think of the raven, I think of, in like, if we're thinking of like ravens in TV and in film, ravens are often in programs to do with witches and witchcraft, where people are meddling with things that are, I guess, considered to be occult. And whether you think that's good or bad, in some programs it's glamorized and made to be a good thing, and in others it's demonized and made to be a bad thing. Yeah, so if we look at it from a neutral perspective, ravens are often there. They're often like around the environment when people are spell casting. When I think of a pentagram, I always think of a raven in the corner. When I think of like magicians and wizards living in like old like aristocracy kind of like type houses, red brick houses with long driveways and gravel courtyards, I always think of them having a pet raven as well. That's kind of what it conjures up in my mind. Ravens are wise. Ravens are messengers. They bring messengers from like one person to another. Ravens can, some ravens can speak. They can be taught to speak, so they're quite intelligent animals. They often like come in when a spell is being cast. There's a raven there, and then poof, it flies away. So the ravens are kind of like symbolic of things shifting and changing. And they're there when the atmosphere breaks and the energy changes. And so this raven in this reading today is basically here as a messenger to say, prepare for change. Change is coming into your life. Things will be shifting. Look out for the raven signs. So you're not necessarily going to see a raven depending on where you live, but there might be black birds in the area, like birds that are coloured, like darker coloured birds, like, so maybe it will be a starling, or maybe that will be a blackbird, or depending on where you live in the world. If there are no birds around you, then maybe it's like a fly, maybe it's just a black fly that's like buzzing around all of a sudden, and see this as a messenger for change. The change is coming, and in some way the raven will send his energy to you to help you to then be more aware and more present of these signs of shifts that are coming, so that those messengers will come in and they will encourage you to keep going, to keep moving ahead, and to lean into the change instead of away from it, because quite often we're quite resistant to change. We're scared of it, we don't like it, we don't want it, we want everything to stay exactly the same forever. We don't like the fact that our lives are constantly shifting and changing, and yet wherein our lives shift and change, that is where the potential for great growth is, the great healing is. And if we don't shift and change, then we don't improve, we don't grow, we don't become better, and our lives don't improve. If our lives are perfect already, I understand that you don't necessarily want things to change. I also understand that sometimes things change, and we don't consider the change to be a good change, a change that's for the better. But with every change, there is always a better. There is always a silver lining in every single change that we go through. We just can't necessarily see it until we've moved through it. Like at the moment with what's going on in the world with the pandemic. Well, this is a huge change for a lot of people. All of us have been affected in some way, whether that's a large way or a small way, depending on where we live on the planet, and depending on whether people that we know and love have been affected or not as well, whether we've personally been affected physically, financially, spiritually, health-wise. It's impacted upon all of us in different ways and in different levels. Like some people, maybe it's only mildly changed their life, maybe it's only mildly affected them, maybe the whole idea of it really hasn't worried them that much. They're like, okay, cool, this is life, things happen, and they've just adapted and carried on, and they've done really well. But other people have really struggled. Some people are so anxious now they can't leave their houses, and they can't fall asleep at night, and when they try and fall asleep they have nightmares. I've heard stories of parents whose children are just really traumatized by what's going on in the world, and sleeping in their bed every night all of a sudden, and this is really sad, and so we need to acknowledge the fact that at the moment, the time that we are going through at the moment is difficult, is traumatic, is challenging, and whoever you are, it will be affecting you and impacting upon you in different ways. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that, and to be self-loving towards ourselves, so that if you are having nightmares, if you are having anxiety, if you can't leave the house, if you are frantically cleaning everything every 2 seconds because you're really worried about this virus, then acknowledging that it is affecting you, and that it is stressing you out emotionally, that it is causing you grief, it is causing you worry, it is causing you fear, is like part of the process of adapting and changing and becoming okay, and getting to a point where we can rationalize what is necessary and what is not necessary, what is the new normal behavior and what is not the new normal behavior, and to be okay with what the new normal behavior is, so that instead of cleaning anything that's come into our house, for example, from outside, in a state of anxiety and stress, and then thinking, oh my god, now I have to go and have a shower and wash myself and all of this stuff, and it's all just like a highly stressed act, a routine, ritual, or whatever that has to be done, and it's a stress point every single day. Well, maybe, you know, we can normalize something like that, so then it just becomes a regular part of life, like brushing your teeth every morning and every night, and it's not covered in anxiety and stress and worry and paranoia and kind of like OCD symptoms, because that's not going to be helpful to us. So it's like, you know, being adaptable, being open to change, and moving with the times, makes us more resilient, really. And so this card is basically, it's warning us that there is more change coming. And I think we all know, like, that there is more change coming, that, you know, with what's going on at the moment in the world, in the media, in the news, we're not through this yet. There is more to come. We don't quite know which way it's going to go yet. We don't know which narrative to believe. We don't know whether good will triumph over evil, but we do know that more change is coming. And so this card is saying that the best thing that you can do this week is to prepare for change. So anything that you can do to grow your resilience, to be emotionally stronger, to be physically stronger, to be healthier, is going to help you out in the next part of this journey. And what's happening in the world right now is, it's big and it's scary, and there are many things about it that are negative, like the impact that it has had on the world financially, on individual, independent business people financially, is, I mean, you know, it's destroying businesses, it is eating up people's savings, it is changing a lot of people's lives, and you know, a lot of people are having to tighten their belts. A lot of people are having to get loans out and credit cards out, and you know, they don't really know how they're going to travel through this. It's changed things in a big way, but it's also opened up a conversation for positive change in the world. You know, we have seen what happens when everybody stays at home for a month in terms of the environment. Pollution has gone down. The animals, you know, have gone back to their natural habitats, and we've seen, you know, the seas full of dolphins and porpoises, and you know, the rainforests full of like monkeys again celebrating, and the, you know, there have been some amazing videos that have been shot, which are really empowering and encouraging, and take your breath away and choke you up with emotion, because you know, you realize, like, wow, look what man has done to the planet, and look at the great cost that we are causing to all of the other creatures that live here with us, that are meant to equally share it with us, and who aren't. And you know, so there are lots of new conversations starting, and I think they are being overshadowed a bit at the moment by many debates that are about smaller things that one could argue are a distraction away from what we actually should be paying attention to. You know, like, while we've all been in quarantine and distracted by this pandemic, lots of other things have been going on that none of us have really paid much attention to, because we're all so focused on staying alive. And you know, so there is a lot going on, and I think this card is just basically encouraging us to prepare ourselves for change, and to get right with which side that we want to be on. Yeah, what side of this debate are we actually on? You know, who do we want to support? Whose narrative do we want to believe? Who do we want to be when we come out of this? Do we want to be a better person? Do we want to care more about humanity and our brothers and sisters, our neighbours? Or are we going to be more self-obsessed and only look after ourselves on our own? So there's a lot to look at there in terms of change and shift. And this card is just encouraging you to lean into the softer energy, to lean into the higher vibrational energy, to lean into energy that feels like a sunset or a sunrise. It's like the energy that is connected to source, that is true and pure and good. To lean into that energy and to connect to that channel of information, that can flow through you if you just give it a moment and you connect and you feel in and you listen to what is coming into you from outside, to what is coming through you from above, and you ask, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right decision for me? Is this the right thing to believe? Is this the right information for me? And you ask these questions and you listen to the answers and you go, is that answer of a higher vibration, of a lighter energy, or of a heavier energy? How does it make me feel inside? Does it make me feel hopeful? Does it make me feel comforted? Or does it make me feel anxious and nauseated? And these are the little signals that we can follow in order to know what our truth is. And everybody's truth could be slightly different, but what matters, what's important, is what your truth is, because your truth is the truth that will serve you in the best possible way. Inhabiting your truth is what will then enable you to live with the best quality of energy inside, like the higher vibrational energy. And the higher vibrational energy is where health and well-being come from. So it's not so much about what the truth is, it's more about what serves as the truth for you, and then moving forwards from there. So for example, at the moment I am choosing to believe, for my truth, that this pandemic isn't as bad as everybody's saying, that it's not as dangerous as everyone's saying, that there aren't as many people who've been affected as we think, that the numbers and the statistics are all skewed, and that actually we've got through the worst of it, and the curve has dramatically fallen, and our chances of getting infected by it and then seriously ill are significantly diminished, because the virus has evolved over the months, and so now it is less virulent, and it's less likely to kill us. Also, I choose to believe that there's more information now. The doctors have more information about what's causing it and how to cure it, so that if we do get affected, we're not as likely to die as we were before. So I am choosing to believe that I am a lot safer now than I was in March. I don't know if this is true or not. It's very, very hard to get a clear reading on what's going on, because there are so many different narratives, and there are so many different people with so many different opinions, and they're very forceful about their opinion. They have conviction in their beliefs. So I can't get a read on what's going on, which causes me some anxiety and stress. But also, I've listened to enough people who are statisticians and who spend their lives researching data and drawing conclusions, and these people can't get a read on what's going on either. So it's not a weakness or a flaw in us if we don't know what the truth is right now. It's natural, because even the people that are paid to do this for a living cannot get a reading on what's going on. Nobody really knows. I mean, that's the truth at the end of the day. Nobody really knows, or certainly that's not being spoken about anywhere if people do know. So all we can do is decide our own truth. The truth that I have decided comforts me. It means I can fall asleep at night and have pleasant dreams instead of nightmares. I can go out for a walk and not worry that something's going to happen to me. I can go about my day and not be preoccupied by thinking about the pandemic and the virus all the time. Yeah, so it's like I have chosen to believe in that in order to be okay with all the change that is going on around me right now. So, you know, whatever works for you, whatever you choose to believe, that is what is energetically best for you, regardless of whether it's the truth or not. Yeah, it's like if you get a diagnosis and you're told, oh, you have stage 4 cancer, yeah, and it's terminal and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, do you walk around like with the belief in your head, I'm going to die, oh my God, there's nothing I can do about it, and inhabit that energy for the next however many months? Or do you decide, no, I can do something about this, I can fight this, I can heal this, I just need to like change, you know, lots of different things in my life, and you completely change your lifestyle, and every day you live with the belief that you are healing, yeah, that every day you are getting better and better and stronger, that is going to serve you far better than believing that you're dying. And, you know, whether that changes your life or not, whether your life expectancy is expanded or not, whether you cure yourself or not, at least the time that you have had has been pleasant and enjoyable, and more worth having, yeah. So choose what you want to believe in, choose what will serve you best, and then follow that through as your message for now, and that will hopefully bring you the most healing and comfort and make things more manageable for you as we move through this time. I mean, this year is a big year. It's been very, very different to what we anticipated or expected or hoped for, and I think all of us are like, I like to kind of like think of the fact that we're all in like quarantine at the moment, but I feel a bit like, you know, I am a caterpillar that, you know, spun myself into a chrysalis, and now I am waiting, and as I'm waiting, I am working, and I am changing, and I am healing, and I am growing, and I am developing, and I'm getting ready to break out of this cocoon and become a brand new butterfly. So, you know, do your soul work, do your journey work, do your inner child healing, do whatever it is you need to do to come out of this new, fresh, new beginning, different person, the person that you wanted to be before but couldn't quite get there. So yeah, so look at the Raven card. Bring those beautiful colours, especially the pinks and the yellows. Bring those into your life. And use that energy to fuel your thoughts. Now I'm just going to read what the little booklet says about the Raven as well, as I think that's always useful. Okay. The Raven comes from Sirius and brings a special magic. Crows, rooks, magpies, drongos and ravens are all known as the tricksters of the bird kingdom. They create change by overcoming obstacles and instigate transitions in animals and humans. Their sole mission is to nudge people and animals towards enlightenment. If you see a single one of these birds, it is prompting you to watch out for unexpected change, or it may be telling you to raise your consciousness before you draw something unwanted to you. They remind you to set pure intentions so that you attract good things. The service mission of ravens is to clear up carrion. In doing so, they keep things clean and teach us that everything can be used. Ravens work with Archangel Azrael, the angel of birth and death, who sends one of these birds to any animal ready to give birth. Its arrival is a reminder to the mother that it is time to prepare for the new. When one waits by a dying animal, it is energetically helping it to pass over. When you receive this card, your guidance is to watch your thoughts. Make sure that they are positive and wholesome. Examine your intentions and make clear ones for everyone's good, including your own. A pure vision sets your journey to enlightenment and ascension. The Raven suggests that you have skills and talents that will enable you to bypass obstacles in a clever and different way. It also warns you to be prepared for sudden change or a transition into something unexpected and new. You have all the support and help you need for the transition ahead. So I think that's a good card moving forwards, and I think it's a useful card, and I think, you know, just as food for thought for the week, I think it's a good thing to sit with and to contemplate, to think about, and maybe journal what the Raven might be trying to tell you, to encourage you to do. So there you are. If you would like to follow on with the rest of this series and make sure that you get the Sunday wisdom each Sunday, the Sunday scripture, then please do subscribe to this channel. I also have a lot of other videos on a lot of other subjects, so do check them out. If you like this video, please like it as well, and if you would want to find out more about me and what I do, or book a reading with me so that you could have a personal oracle card reading or a tarot reading, or a combination of the two, quite often I like to work with the two together, then visit my website lemonrosepetals.com. and you can find out more about me there, and you can contact me in person through that as well. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.